What's up and welcome, I'm the one and only West Coast King, and welcome back to Major League 90, another Copa America special. We are into the semifinals of this tournament, and it's been a pretty interesting one. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about the United States. They are into the semifinals as well, and they've had a fantastic run, but there's been some other things that have gone on in the tournament that we're going to touch on as well. So let's start off with a couple of teams that didn't really have the best showing in the tournament, and the number one team that I would have to say had the biggest disappointment was Brazil. I mean, easily one of the top 2 or 3 teams coming in, failed to make it out of their group, and they started off with a 0-0 draw against Ecuador. Okay, fine. You know, the first game, you're kind of getting a feel for things. Ecuador's a good team. A lot of people expected them to make it out of their group as well, and they did eventually do that, but you know, a 0-0 draw, okay, it's acceptable. It's acceptable. Them even being Brazil, that's an okay draw to start things out with. Then they come out and they stomp Haiti 7-0. Everyone's like, okay, all is well with Brazil. It's all good. And then they go into the last game against Peru in their group, in a game that they had to at least draw. And they came out and fell completely flat, just did not look interested at all. And they lose 1-0. And they get knocked out in the group stage. And that results in their coach being fired. And it just is mind-boggling. It was one of the surprises of the tournament for sure. Just, I don't know what it is with Brazil in tournaments lately, but they just have not been doing very well. And another team that was very unimpressive in the group stage was Uruguay, and another team that a lot of people expected to at least make it out of their group. It was a tough group consisting of Mexico, Venezuela, and Jamaica, as well as Uruguay, and I thought they were probably the best team in that group. Mexico was very good as well, but I thought Uruguay would probably win the group, if not, at the very least, get out of the group. And they couldn't do that either. They came out in their first game against Mexico and got stomped. I mean, Mexico absolutely dominated that match, and they won it 3-1. Then they went into the game against Venezuela, a team that was kind of underestimated coming in. They're a pretty decent team. They lost that one 1-0. So through 2 games, they've scored 1 goal with players on that team like Cavani and Suarez and Abel Hernandez and Lodero and just a lot of attacking players. 1 goal through 2 games was pretty interesting and very surprising. And then they went into their last match, and it was hopeless at that point. I mean, you can't lose your first 2 games and expect to get out of the group. And they did beat Jamaica 3-0 in that one, but it was too little too late. I mean, Uruguay was just so bad in those first 2 games. I don't know what they were doing, and I don't know what their direction is going to be going forward with that national team, but very unimpressive again from another South American team. So enough about the teams that didn't qualify for the quarterfinal. Let's talk about a team that did, namely the United States. I thought the United States had a very, very good group stage performance. Despite losing 2-0 in that first one to Colombia, I thought, you know, the goals that they gave up, one was just a world-class strike from a center back off a set piece. Nothing Guzan could do about that. They could have marked a little bit better on that one. Jeff Cameron kind of lost his man, and Zapata put home a fantastic strike. But the second goal was just a penalty that was just unlucky. I mean, it was a handball in the box that Yedlin had his back turned, had his hand up protecting his face. The ball hit him in the hand. I mean, it's just unlucky. And those were the 2 goals that they scored. The United States had 54% possession, just as many shots. Ospina in goal for Colombia had a fantastic match. And the United States lacked a little bit of creativity in the final third, and that's really what undid them. Just very unlucky not to put some of their chances away, and Colombia did. Against Costa Rica, however, the United States turned it around. They looked very, very confident coming in. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, what they needed to do, and they just went out and did it. It was a very, very good performance. They beat a very good Costa Rican side 4-0, a team that a lot of people thought might be able to get out of that group. The United States just wasn't having it in there. It was their best performance of the group by far. A very, very emphatic win. And their third group stage game, I thought, was probably their most important. It wasn't the prettiest. It was a bit of a disaster at times, namely whatever DeAndre Yedlin was thinking in that match, getting himself sent off on just, I can't even defend what he did. It was very, very stupid, and he just lost focus for a moment, and I was very disappointed in what happened there, getting himself sent off. But nonetheless, it was a gritty, grinded out kind of a win, and a win that teams usually need in a tournament that usually leads to more success down the road. And it proved to be a very valuable experience, getting that 1-0 win down to 10 men. So the U.S. ended up moving into the quarterfinals, qualifying in first place in their group. All is going well. They've got some momentum heading into this thing. They start off the game against Ecuador very, very well. They had a 1-0 lead heading into halftime, dominated that first half, and then less than 10 minutes into the second half, all hell breaks loose. I don't even know what was going on there. Ecuador picked up a red card in the same exact play where there was a little scrum after that red card. Jermaine Jones gets himself sent off on some ridiculous stuff. I'm not saying whether or not he deserved to be sent off, but what he did was very, very stupid, and he lost focus again for just a moment. He put his hand on an opponent's face, something that the refs were keying on in this tournament, and gets an immediate red card. It's in the rules. You can't do that. He had no reason to do that, and he does get the red card. Now, the United States have appealed that card. I don't know if it's going to get overturned or not. We'll have to wait and see. If he's out in the semifinal against Argentina, it's going to be very, very bad. It might already be bad, but it's going to be worse if Jermaine Jones can't play. But back to the Ecuador game, down to 10 men aside, exactly what the United States did not need, having just played a match where they were down to 10 men, with the same players every single game on the field. They were very, very tired. Luckily, Zardes added a second goal for the U.S., but they looked out of gas by the 60th minute. I mean, they looked like they had nothing left to give, especially the midfield and defense. Bedoya, Bradley, a lot of those players just looked completely drained and had nothing left. And luckily, they did hold on to win the game 2-1, but there's still repercussions from that match. One of the things I have to question here is what exactly Jurgen Klinsmann was doing in that second half. With about 30 minutes left to play, you could tell some of those players were very tired, and some of those players were already at risk, if they got another yellow card, of being suspended for the semifinal. Bedoya was one of them. Bobby Wood was another. And both of those players ended up getting a second yellow card when I thought they should have been taken off about 10 minutes before they had been. And especially Bedoya, he was completely drained. You could see it. He was limping. Still, Jurgen Klinsmann didn't take him off. He ended up getting beat on a play, and he had to just bring the guy down and got himself a yellow card. He's now going to be suspended for the semifinal. I know Zusi will probably come in and play for him, but still, that's a big loss. Bedoya was playing very well for the United States. I hate to see him being suspended like that when it was a completely avoidable thing that happened. But either way, you got to look at the bright side. The U.S. did qualify for the semifinals. Well, they'll be taking on Argentina. I don't know. I don't know. I would say there's probably like a 3% chance that the U.S. wins. You just look at what Argentina has done. They've absolutely shit-stomped everyone in this tournament. And especially with key players being suspended for this match for the U.S., I just don't think that we can do it. Oh man, I really don't. I think if Jermaine Jones can play, it will help. But I just don't think it's going to happen for us. And it sucks to have to say that. But I mean, is there anyone that's realistically picking the U.S. to win this game? I don't think there is. But what I really hope is that even if they do lose, it's not bad. And they can go into the third place game later on and have a good performance there and hopefully take third place in the tournament. If they beat Argentina, and I hope that they do, I hope they prove me wrong, it will be probably the biggest upset the United States have ever had. Beating Argentina in the semifinal of the Copa America would probably be the biggest win the U.S. has ever had. And it would be absolutely fantastic if that were to happen. So one semifinal matchup is the U.S. and Argentina. The other one is going to be Colombia and Mexico. Wait, is that right? Hold on. Was it Chile or was it Mexico? Oh, it was Chile. Chile did beat Mexico. What was the score of that game? I'm done. Seven. Oh God, I hate to rub it in, but 7-0? 7-0 for Mexico. How? How do you give up 7 goals? I don't understand. It wasn't even like they got people sent off and they were down to like 9 men. It was 11-on-11 and they gave up 7 goals. What is that? I don't even, like, getting beat in this sport 3-0 is bad. 4-0 is very, very awful. 5-0 is a humiliation. What is 7-0? Getting beat 7-1 is called getting Braziled. Sorry, Brazil. I didn't mean to rub that in, especially after you got knocked out in the group stage of this tournament. Didn't need to be brought back up, but still, 7-1 is getting Braziled. What is 7-0 then? There's not even a word to describe what kind of ass whooping that is. Now, I absolutely do not want to rub it in. I mean, we're going up against Argentina in the semifinal. Could very well happen to us coming up on Tuesday. Please don't let that happen. Like I said, I just want it to be respectable. I hope that we win. Very, very small chance that will happen, but I want to keep it respectable and have a good showing in the third place game. That's really what my hopes are for the U.S. going forward, and that's unfortunate for Mexico. I do feel bad for their fans, and it's a shitty situation, but 7-0. I can't. It's 7-0. All right, so that is going to be it for this one. Let me know what your thoughts are for the upcoming semifinal matches, both the United States and Argentina, and Colombia and Chile. I mean, the United States have a shot, right? It's a very small chance. Maybe Argentina gets lost on the way to the stadium or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's not going to be good, I don't think. But either way, that's going to do it for this episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you when we come back for some more Major League 90. See ya. I bet you'd take a Dos a Cero right now, wouldn't you? Dos a Cero looks like a freaking gift from God compared to 7-0. 7-0!